warm welcome to the discussion of the finalists and the announcement of the winners of the 2011, Deframing the Frame contest. We had over 200 submissions. There were a lot of good work, as always. The judges, which I'll introduce in a moment, had a tough job. I don't envy them. We've come up with some good choices, though, I think. The Deframing the Frame contest had a number of goals. First of all, was to encourage single author movies. And all of these movies are single author or close to it. And also no budget movies. And all these movies are no budget or close to it. I don't think you can, the truth can't set you free until you can tell the truth for free. So I think it's crucial that we as media makers move in that direction. Also, the contest was designed to try to get people to start deconstructing media with media for a variety of reasons. I'm going to introduce the judges. They're all former students of mine, so I'm very proud of each of them. Jonathan, to my left here, is currently working in TV production. Alicia is an artist and filmmaker who is working as a manager in an educational software development firm. And Stan is a man of many talents who currently works as a, I'm going to get this wrong, an instructional multimedia specialist.
That was good.
Yeah, thank you. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna, in no particular order, talk about the films that are our finalists, and then at the end we'll announce both the honorable mentions, what we've made into a second prize tier, and then the winner. Why don't we start with Financial District?
Okay, I chose Financial District as a film. Wow. Okay. I really liked Financial District because I just thought it was a really simple piece. Had, you know, static images of the financial district in downtown Manhattan with simple animation lines over it. And I don't know, it just...
We all want to draw things on the Financial District at this point. I would love to draw something on the Financial District at this point. And to muck it up, I mean, we're all furious with that place.
Yeah.
And you're right, he took...
I thought the idea was great.
Yeah.
With that, yeah.
Taking the photos were great, and then the idea of just going in and just mucking with them.
Well, also taking away the people, because it just seems like the people have been taken out of like the financial district with all, you know.
Yeah. I thought it did a very good job creating a tone with the music, and so it's sort of a dark, you know, giving you the impression of something that's dying, sort of, you know.
Yeah. And again, to go back on it, it was pretty short, and at the same time managed to deliver everything that he wanted, which I think was very commendable.
And short is good. We like short. Everybody likes short. Yeah, and if you've said what you've got to say, bring the curtain down. There's no reason to go on and on. And this artist said what they wanted to say, and they brought the curtain down, I thought, very effectively. And again, said what we all want, or did what we all want to do, which is draw graffiti on Financial District or some such thing. How about the Queen, My Lord, is much, much better?
I'd like to say something about that one. I feel that this is probably one of the only videos, or maybe the only one, that I thought was really funny, and it was very entertaining to watch. I really loved the monologue, and I thought the use of images with this and the way the monologue with the voiceover was going over it was very effective, and it really delivered its entertaining message, I have to say. I don't know how well it was related to some of the other aspects that we were looking for in the contest, but
it was a charmer nonetheless.
I mean, I think one of the big things about it was just the concept itself, which is a very funny concept, and the way that he was able to execute it. You know, one of the things I regretted was that I'm not too familiar with a lot of the Shakespearean plays, and so I know I missed a lot of the
humor,
the reference. I mean, but you still get enough of it, you know, even if you haven't seen it, you do get enough of the humor. As Stan mentioned, I mean, the big question was the extent to which it related to
Deframing the Frame. And
right.
Yeah.
Although someone said it's deframing Shakespeare. It's deframing the frame of Shakespeare, and Shakespeare's a pretty big frame.
Right.
Or it's about people deframing the frame of Shakespeare. What
The
just such
the
a
actors revolting.
I think that's
Well,
such a cool idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Having been in theater and having been like a a person who's in like townsperson 2 or
Right,
townsperson
right.
3, just to kind of rip in there and like change things up,
Yeah.
and it was hilarious.
Again, much like Financial District, it did what a lot of people wanted to do. I mean, if you've ever been one of those, if you've been second swords person in
Yeah.
any play, I mean, yeah, you'd want to just step forward. It's just a great fantasy.
That's true.
And I thought it was nicely executed. I thought the simple animation, the Photoshop stuff, and all that.
I thought it was very well written.
Yeah, well, the monologue is super,
Right.
without question, super. And I know this was done as a voiceover demo, I think, and certainly it works as that. And the man, you're super good. You sound great. But it was also the execution of the visuals and all the photos that you used and the way you brought the animation in. Okay, to go from funny to not funny, let's talk about Fallacy of Man.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I guess with that one in particular, I actually liked the imagery and how detailed it was at certain points, the things that were on the screen and how it resonated and conveyed its message. It really, I think, got to me also with the combination of the music and then, the voiceover.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think was
Super.
great for
Yeah.
that video as well.
Yeah.
And just the editing, I thought was very well layered, very well put together.
This is another one that I think we all discussed about how we love this piece. It didn't quite fit into to sort of what the goals of the contest were so much. It was deframing the frame in terms of being a single author movie in a way that I loved. I thought the drawings were great, the artwork, the poem. What was the line we talked about? Open your.
I opened up my wallet and all I see is blood or something like that.
Well, it's a great line, and it was the final line, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
And it was simple animation, which I appreciate. Hard worked, extensive animation, but this whole project's designed to allow us to create art without having to give up our life to create art. And I like that this was super nice, and it used simple animation I think, very effectively. Narration was wonderful, poem was great, images.
It was very disturbing and
Yeah.
it stayed with me after I
yeah.
saw it. It
Yeah.
was
You
very
remember it.
unsettling, but it was good,
Yeah.
It was a good piece.
I think it was one of the most impactful,
Yeah.
like what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It was one that stayed with you a lot. Okay, let's do first. Fourth, actually. Let's do first.
Well, I like first a lot. First of all, I love the child narrator. Narration I think is actually very tough to do well, and I thought the child nailed it. And,
Yeah.
it had, as was mentioned, a lot of the pieces that we looked at didn't have a lot of humor or levity, and this one did. It had a very
Yeah.
light touch to it. We thought that, I think all of us agreed that it did sort of meet some of the parameters of the contest by, framing a big media issue in a unique way and then using images from media to tell that story. We had a question as to to what extent it was deframing the frame by talking about the first astronaut into space. And I think you, Terrence, mentioned
Yeah.
that.
I mean, being an American who lived through that and remembering that how it was presented in America was not terribly positive, I'm afraid. And this was so refreshing I don't think I ever knew who this guy was. I don't remember. I certainly wasn't celebrated here. We were nervous about him being up there.
We celebrated it in Bulgaria very well.
I'm sure in Bulgaria he was well, and I felt I loved being with this charming, smiling, full of life guy,
Right.
and it shattered my frame of who this was,
Right.
this doji Russian. This thrilled me, and I agree. The kid narration. First of all, it's like the adult's going to tell the kid, and then the kid tells the adult everything.
Yeah.
I thought that reversal was wonderful.
Right.
I love the part with the dogs.
The dogs
Yeah.
was
When she was
wonderful.
telling
Yeah, well, and that's what
But
I
it
mean
was
about the
lonely.
humor
It had-
too, though.
Yeah.
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 And it was playful. The simple animation in it was also super nice. I
Yeah.
thought the one with the missiles over the Arabs on the camels in
Yeah,
particular.
the animation I really liked.
And
in that
the other thing I
video.
liked about that is it had within it a lot of different tones.
Yeah.
They would change the music cue.
Yeah.
There would be a cue, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you would start off and just go in a whole different direction.
Yeah,
But it all fit. It was all coherent.
Yeah.
So.
yeah. It was
The
super.
editing as well was really
Yeah.
good with it. Yep. Every cut was well composed.
Right. I thought it was totally charming from beginning to end, and more than charming.
Yeah, and it was charming. I mean, it ends
Yeah.
on just a perfect, whimsical, charming. You know, he says the first. Yes, definitely the first, and then that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has a nice little credit to the internet. Thank you, internet.
Yeah.
Most of this was found,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, as someone who rips off the internet a lot, I've never
Right,
thanked
yeah.
the internet. So
Right.
I thought it was quite sweet to thank the
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
It just was so just so light and airy,
Yeah.
and just it was a really nice piece.
Yeah, it was a super piece. Okay, break down the remix next.
Break down the remix. I haven't seen the original, but as I read the description of the video, and I think I did a Google search to find something. So I'm not really sure how much of the original
Yeah.
was part of it, or how much it was deframing the original itself. But it really looked good. It really looked like a lot of time was put into it, and the editing again was. I talk about editing, but with some of the videos, I feel like things weren't really flowing as you want them to flow,
Yeah.
and I think this one was a video that put every scene very well together.
This was
The
labored
imagery
over.
as well was great.
I'm sorry.
The imagery.
The imagery was
and
great.
then,
The floating doll heads,
Yeah.
you know, that alone I would
Yeah.
give something to. That was super. Yeah, this you could tell there was a lot of effort put into this, effectively
Yeah.
put into this. I love the layering. I'm someone who loves layering, and the putting those different images on top of each other, cutting them out, and moving them around, I thought was super.
Well, my favorite part of that
Yeah.
piece was the part where the guy's watching the film, and then the other section of
Yeah.
portion of footage is in the
The
actual
TV.
TV. So it's just
Very
kind of
cool.
meta. Like you're
Yeah.
watching it, he's watching it.
Yeah, I thought that was very nice. Okay, Firebird Suite.
Oh, okay. I loved Firebird Suite. I really, really. I felt like it just. I'm so not articulate right now, and I was before, but
She was.
I was very articulate before. I really liked Firebird Suite, and I'm just gonna cheat and look at some of my
We've
notes
all been
for
looking
it.
at our notes.
Yeah. All right. Maybe that's
The
why.
man looking at
That's
our
why
notes, yeah.
I don't have them all on one page. I flip back and forth, but yeah. So I love the choice of media that
Yeah.
the director used. I love the use of text
Yeah.
and the layering of the text. I thought the subject matter was interesting
Mhm.
because I hadn't really heard about those fires. I might have heard, for a
Mhm.
second on CNN
Mhm.
and just kind of flitted out of my head. I really like that the filmmaker incorporated audio of pyromaniacs
Yeah.
discussing their
Yeah.
passion for
Yeah.
setting fires and
That was
That was
then-
the high
Big
point.
time.
Yeah.
also too the juxtaposition of everybody blaming the people that are trying
Yeah.
to get into the
Yeah,
country
that was
and not.
shameful.
It was pretty it was open ended, but I just really I was
Yeah.
moved by it.
And one of the big strengths I think we all agree about Firebird Suite was how closely it adhered to the original requirements of
Mhm.
the contest.
Mhm.
That's true.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was probably one of the pieces the closest. Like if we look at your piece, Murdered,
Yeah.
there were elements of Firebird
Yeah.
Suite in terms of
Right.
the form it was trying to employ.
Text and
Yeah.
layering and it was very topical, which I really applaud too. I agree with Alicia about there's so much talk about illegal immigrants and now this has been blamed on them, this biggest fire, and I like this movie sort of addressing that a bit, raising those issues and questioning it a bit. That's part of what art's job is. Make them laugh, make them laugh, make them laugh, but also make them think, make them think, make them think. We're making them rethink.